Yo, what's up guys? This is Griever here, bringing you guys a discussion type video for the wonderful, magical, amazing series known as Nanatsu no Taizai, also called Seven Deadly Sins, guys. And this will be about Escanor. Not a character discussion for Lord Escanor, praise the sun. No, this is going to be talking about sunshine, and not even the grace of sunshine necessarily. But why? The question is, why? Why does the grace of sunshine not destroy Escanor's body? Now, we have evidence that it is killing him, from what we know. And that's the thing. We do not know very much. There's very little information given. When we were first introduced to Escanor, he was touted as being stronger than the captain. He was stronger than Meliodas. Meliodas said it himself. He is stronger than me. And when we were given this information, we saw him toting sunshine. As the sun rose, his power grew. And his power was insane. It was so good. He fought off 2 commandments like they were fodder. And it wasn't even noontime. And that was the big thing, waiting for noontime. Then we got the ability, the One. When he fought against Meliodas when he had forgone all his emotions and had reverted back to the original leader of the 10 Commandments with a power level probably, I would say, easily 150k. We don't get an exact number, but I would easily say Meliodas in this form was 150,000 plus, if not greater. That's just a bare minimal. Now, what happened? They had an epic fight. They had an amazingly epic fight. And we saw the One. And the One was a form that could simply, a divine sword, Escanor. Done. Meliodas is done. 1 minute, high noon, invincible incarnation of power. So, the thing is, all this seems like his power. And it seems OP. Then we get the introduction of the Archangels. And the Archangels, we have Rudesiel, also called Ludishel for some reason, Sariel, and Tarmiel. 3 Archangels, plus the one we didn't know about, suffice it to say. And what we also get from this is that they hold the power similar to the commandment. It's quality this time over quantity. There are only 4, regardless of the 10. And this is Flash, Ocean, Tornado, and Sunshine. And Rudesiel recognizes Escanor's power. When they're walking through the town, and Escanor is simply walking with Hawk and all this other stuff, he notices Rudesiel recognizes the call of that power, goes to him, and explains what Sunshine is. Sunshine is actually the 4th missing grace of his brother Male, supposedly the strongest warrior of the not only the strongest archangel, but the strongest of the goddess clan. Someone whose power would rise and rise until it would peak at noon. During this conversation, we are told that he could not be human. And this is a line we heard many, many times. We heard it from Mon Speed, we heard it from Esther Rosa, we heard it from multiple characters that Escanor could not be human. His ability just dwarfs logic. And now we are finally told the reason, or so we think, is that he holds one of the 4 archangels, 4 pinnacle mights of light and power, pillars of strength. And we are told that this power is a grace. That should be the end of it. But it is not. It is not the end of this story. For this power should have torn him apart. Rudesiel claims as much. You could not be human. You make me laugh. How did you steal this power? Because the power of sunshine, or the power of any grace, could not have a human vessel. It would destroy the body from the inside out. And we can suffice this to say that if one was granted the grace, it would destroy them. Their body could not cope, could not comprehend the might and the power, and would break apart. regardless of the fact that Escanor has not only lived with this power for his entire life, as far as we know. He might have been granted as a baby. We don't know if he was necessarily born with it. That's stated, but that's translation. Regardless, he's had it relatively his whole life. He's easily in his 20s. And Rudesiel says this is impossible. Let alone the fact that he has utilized it in a combat way. It's not uncontrolled. It's not, and it's literally his magical power. And he's gone into the form of the One, which we saw before this information. So what does this say? I call back to a theory I heard many, many a time ago. Is that the crux of this entire discussion video is that Sunshine and Escanor and Mael the fourth archangel. Remember, let's look at everything in a timeline fashion. Mael was the archangel who held Sunshine. And Mael lost this grace. We don't know how. But when he was manipulated by Wheelchair Gother into becoming Esther Rosa, the grace of Sunshine was lost to him. Clearly it was not destroyed, but lost. As Rudesiel also points out. No one knew what became of it. But later on in this arc, and quite recently, we have seen that the commandments have a manifestation, a form in which they can communicate on an ethereal plane, but nonetheless, they have a form with desires, communication, and needs, wants, desires. So it does not beg out the sign of reason that Sunshine could do the very same. And if we could take Rudesiel's words at face value, because we have no other information, we only know that Escanor was born with this, what he considered a curse, and Rudesiel telling us it's not possible. So what do I gain from this? Well, if we take, once again, Rudesiel's words at face value, that Sunshine tried. Once Esther Rosa was created, the Sunshine Grace could no longer be within that vessel. It could not stay within Mael. It had to evacuate that vessel. And clearly it did not go back to the Supreme Deity. It may have, but for what purpose? That's a whole nother theory. Suffice it to say, the grace was lost. And if we can take into account the fact that we saw the commandments in manifestation, it is not out of the realm of possibility that the graces have a very singular mind of their own. And if this were the case, could it not be possible that for 3,000 years, Sunshine searched? It searched for a vessel, for a companion, for a bearer of its power. And perhaps it tried many times. For all we know, Sunshine has destroyed countless giants, fairies, and humans. We do not know. But it's possible. Or perhaps it had something similar to Hawk's Baller's Eye. And it realized, this is not right. This one can't take me. This one can't take me. And it wandered alone. Whether through an ethereal realm, whether through the human plane, we don't know. Whether through purgatory, we don't know where the Sunshine Grace went. But for over 3,000 years, it was clearly dormant in some way. And finally, and here's where the theory comes in, I believe that Escanor has a very specific magical power. I hesitate to name it because it sounds a little lame, and I'll grant you that. But it is literally his pride. His magical power is confident pride, similar to Dreyfus having his willpower is the strength of his sword. And the stronger his will is, the iron steel of his will makes his blade even sharper and more durable. In the same sense, I'm taking a line off of that and believing that Escanor was born with the magical ability of confidence, of pride. And that this whole timid version versus manly version is a twisted manifestation when Sunshine finally found a vessel to intake this ability. He jumped at the chance, or Sunshine, the ambiguous gender, Grace, jumped at the chance. Went inside of Escanor. Escanor's body could handle it. Because once again, from what we understand, everything about Escanor tells us is that his confidence is almost reality warping in level. It almost is to that point. In the fact that he believes, no, I'm stronger than you. Oh, I can't destroy that island? Yes, I can. Oh, I can't beat this opponent? Yes, I can. Oh, I can't do X? I'll prove you wrong with Y. Like every single situation is that he believes, he's fully confident. He does not care about numbers, situations, nothing. He goes, this is the Vampire King. I don't care. I can kill him. He can, as far as he's concerned, he is the most powerful being in the universe. He is the most powerful character in the series. He is the most powerful. If he decides something, it will happen. That is his superiority, his complex, his God complex that he pertains when the sun is in the sky, is that he can do anything. I believe that his original magical power has been corrupted to sustain Sunshine. In that the reason Sunshine took so long is because of this power. And now, if you take that all into account, that is why else would Sunshine be able to be maintained in this body? Because Escanor believes he can. He did not know it was a grace, but he said to himself, Sunshine, this is my magical power. It's mine. I control it. And his body obeys. In every single scenario, this works. And it works in his sin of pride. In the fact that he is so confident, so prideful, and that was his original magical power base. And it was warped by Sunshine into creating a timid version at night and a beefy version during the day. From what we saw, male had no such distinction during sunshine hours. So it's entirely possible that all the confidence, magical power that he possessed, whatever his original magical power was, and we've seen through Zeldris, Meliodas, multiple characters that they can also have magical powers alongside originals that they don't choose to use. I believe this power was corrupted. I believe that this is the case. Now, another great example of this is the fact that when he uses this power, when it was at its height, all of a sudden, what happened? Merlin got hurt. Arthur got hurt. And his confidence was shaken. I don't believe this was simply in a side backstory for the love triangle that is, the misunderstood love triangle that is Merlin, Arthur, and Escanor. I think this had a much darker meaning. We see timid Escanor be very conscious and worried about the fact that Merlin has thoughts only for Arthur. And he cannot see past that perhaps it is a motherly love, or perhaps it is a love of a companion, or the love for something. This is so important. Arthur is important. He's the key to everything. He can't see that. All he sees is that Merlin has thoughts for Arthur and not him. And at first you could pass this all off. I did. I passed this all off until the point where we saw manly Escanor at 9, 10 o'clock, ready to knock on the door. thinking of things to say to Merlin when Arthur was incapacitated and now in a comatose state, and trying to think of what to say to her. And he couldn't. He came up with 3, 4, 5 lines. None of them fit. And then instead of knocking, he walked away. And when do we see him next? Well, he's irritable and he coughs up blood. Now, there's multiple theories for this. But in line with my theory, I believe that his original magical power is still there. The only reason his body was able to sustain the grace of sunshine, which is touted to be, if we take Verdesiel's words at face value, is touted to be impossible. The reason it happens is based on his original magical power, which is overwhelming confidence, pride of some description. It might be more creative than what I'm presenting to you. But to simplify it, it works. And if his confidence or his pride was shaken, even a little bit, it would break down. Then his body, sunshine would not be able to stay in his body, and his body would start to reject the grace of sunshine, the only thing holding it back. It's similar to a virus. If you take your pills every single day, it creates a barrier, for example, around your lungs. Let's use a very simple analogy, around your heart, around your lungs. You take your pill, it creates it, it keeps a virus at bay. But if you stop taking those pills, even for a couple days, that virus got closer. Similar to Tony Stark in the Avengers movies and in the comics with the shrapnel. He could not remove all the shrapnel, so he placed a pump next to his heart, inside his heart, something like that. And what it does is it doesn't remove the shrapnel. As long as it's powered, it keeps the shrapnel from moving closer, and it keeps the shrapnel at bay from killing him, from stabbing his heart. It's a similar concept that I'm presenting to you, is that this is what sunshine is. Sunshine is toxic to humans. And this toxicity is showing itself because the only reason it was able to manifest itself first in Escanor at all was because of his original magical power, which was basically that barrier, that pride, that confidence, that overzealous confidence kept him from receiving the toxicity. He believed sunshine was his, and it became his. He believed he can control it, so he can control it. He believes he can destroy anything, win any battle, do anything, and it happens. But now, there's something he cannot control. Something that he desires that is out of his reach. There is a tremor in his heart. There is a doubt has sunk in. He's scared. He feels a negative emotion. And that has presented itself now. The toxicity has seen a crack and has moved in. The barrier is not complete. Now, once again, guys, this is just a theory. I've heard many other theories about that utilizing the one is what caused him to experience this toxicity. It's potential, but for some reason, I feel like my theory has, and it's not just my theory, other people have presented this in similar arguments. And I have not seen any panel or scene in the manga or anime to dispute these facts. There's been no evidence against it. Nothing, no line of dialogue, no background information that we know of, as far as I'm aware, that can dispute this theory. So I'm just taking this under advisement. As I said before, there are many, many theories. This is not my theory by itself. There are many people that have presented this in different ways, very similar argument. But I believe that this is the closest thing that we have to a concrete theory that shows multiple evidence going all the way back to when we were first introduced to Escanor, brings into a fact his midnight to day form, his grace of sunshine, what his original magical power would be, which clearly was not sunshine. If he is a human, that means he was either born with no magical power or he was born with the magical power. There is just so much going on. The fact that he can control the one, the fact that everyone has repeatedly said he could not be human, they cannot believe it. Rudesio finally says the same thing and says that grace would destroy a human body. From what we understand, if I was granted a grace right now, my body would break apart in front of you, let alone me try to even utilize it. So there is a lot of evidence to this theory. I hope you guys enjoyed this discussion video. What do you guys think of the theory? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I'm curious as to what's going to be revealed in the series as a whole. Right now we are, of course, in the middle of Escanor versus Zeldris. It's a big time in the manga chapters. I'm hoping that we get some more information, a little bit of data dumping about this situation. I really want to know. And who was the woman who helped Lord Escanor escape in the first place? Is she key to this? Did Nakaba forget about her? I don't know. What do you guys think down in the comment section down below? As always, this has been Griever with a Nanatsu no Taizai, also called 7 Deadly Sins, discussion video. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you back here next time. See ya.